This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5. We'll begin at verse 1. Nevertheless, as concerning the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. Verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest, or that thou hast heard long ago. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. But if the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night, and the moon thrice in the day. And blood shall drop out of wood, and the stone shall give his voice, and the people shall be troubled. And even he shall rule whom they look not for that dwell upon the earth, and the fowls shall take their flight away together. And the Sodomish sea shall cast out fish and make a noise in the night, which may have not known, but they shall all hear the voice thereof. There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. Verse 9, and salt water shall be found in sweet, and all friends shall destroy one another. Then shall wit hide itself, and understanding withdraw itself into a secret chamber, and shall be sought of many, and yet not be found. Then shall unrighteousness and incontinency be multiplied on the earth. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Call Halayim, by Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachakadosh Barakatam. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, which appear like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Brother Yahweh South, out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at with you another lesson. Coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Shai. And basically, I came across this article on Newsbreak, trying to find something to do a video on, and I found it. It was a spiritual because basically, I brought out the 2nd Ezra chapter 5 because it tells you in the last days you're gonna see, like when you go into this verse, which I have been going into lately. This is a prophecy. Talk about the tokens, which are signs of the prophecies. And one of the signs of prophecies is iniquity shall be increased. You know, right now we're living in a time where the murder rate is like at an all-time high in a lot of cities, which is only going to increase because of the time, the evil times ahead. And when you go into evil, meaning bad times, so, this 2nd Ezra 5, when it says, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, meaning this wicked generation of children, these young folks, their mindset, you've had things happen, my family is one of the many families that was raised in poverty, but just didn't become generational project children. My father was born in the projects, and basically he worked himself up out of it. I've been fortunate enough where I haven't been I really didn't have to live in the projects. I'm still in poverty. Being honest with myself. But, like scripture says, as long as now with this mindset of knowing the truth, all we call for those that are steadfast in the truth is our daily bread. Some men have more, some have less based on your lot. But I'm content with what I got. Saying all that to say this, this generation, this current generation, you got a lot of, just like uptick in crime, yeah, generations they robbing. Brothers had it in the group chat. They was showing how it was a Jake man and Jake woman, and I guess she had a pistol or whatnot, and she's in line, and the guy basically wrestled her to the ground and took her pistol. You're gonna see more and more things like this take place because of the times that we're coming in. Things are getting harder, and at the end of the day, it's a dog eat dog world. The strong will prey on the weak. But it says when in verse 10 that inconsistency, if I'm saying that correctly, but when you go into that word, it basically means lawlessness. So the lawlessness will increase because people are going to be committing more crimes. It talks about the iniquity, which is sin upon sin, which it says in verse 2, iniquity shall be increased above that which now thou seest. And that was back then. And like I said again, you know, you had different cities where their murder rates are at an all-time high. I believe even my city, I think we number 4 right now, 3 or 4. And it's Cleveland. I mean, East Cleveland had the highest murder rate at one point in time, but I believe Cleveland, but that's not, like I said, it's a lot of death going on, a lot of things going on, a lot of judgment, and that's all the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. But not to make this too long, because I'm not trying to attempt it to, I was watching this and it just, showing you what time we in. It's like a movie, the way the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is doing this. I hope they don't make me start it all over because I just had it. So, there we go. So basically, what I say is this might be a Grand Theft Auto or something. So basically, Grand Theft Auto, you could do all kind of, because that's an open world. Brothers that's familiar with video games, which a lot of brothers in the truth are. Some brothers aren't. But like the open world video games where you can pretty much interact with the whole world. And then, Grand Theft Auto, you could do certain things. Like I remember the one when you was like you could become the drug kingpin and you could sell drugs out of ice cream truck and whatnot, or you could you know what I mean, like it's an open world type of game. You ain't just strictly on the quest that the program sets up. You can actually deviate from the missions and actually which Grand Theft Auto literally, like when you see what they trying to do with this metaverse shit, live in this world in reality. Like I said, I just thought of the brother from Men of Valor, Rawan Amath. He was like, what kind of corny ass dude is Esau? Because, like I said, in his mind, he think you supposed to be all just accepting of the shit. Who would want to, like the brother, one of our heads in our camp said, the experience of watching a fight or a game on TV as opposed to actually being there in real life is two totally different experiences. So who would give up their freedoms to actually live in a digital world? But the thing is this, it's ultimately it's Esau. It's not really Esau's plan. It's Yahweh Shem Yahushua's plan. And with enough suffering, people will look at the whole CV thing. People talking about what they ain't gonna do, and then when restrictions came about and they took liberties or certain liberties that you thought you had, people, quickly. Change their tune to get back to some of the things um, that they once were accustomed to. So saying all that to say this, the crime is going up. I was gonna play the video, but I might just read it. It says, stolen dump truck used to back into Cleveland store building catches fire. So basically, they committed a crime, a robbery, by using this dump truck. It says Cleveland, Ohio. Fire activity was reported in the early morning hours at a convenience store on the city of Cleveland's east side following an apparent smash and grab incident. Now, you know, it makes you wonder why this store, but you got to understand, I'm going to look at the East 140th Street in Aspinwall, so I'm familiar with that. That's over by Lakeshore in my city. And 9 times out of 10, there's probably like some people around that area that, you don't know what is inside of that store. A lot of these Arabs or Ishmaelites, these Ishmaelites come over here and they have stores. Hell, I've known for Ishmael to be, Jacob fuck with Ishmael because of the fact Ishmael be allowing Jake to get some money with him. Ishmael might have plugs and connects to certain shit, and Jacob fuck with him because, they can get money with him. I've seen that. I've seen Ishmael disrespect Jake, but then you got Jake that fuck with this Ishmaelite, and it's all cool because Jake eating with him, and that's how Jake look at shit, carnally. You know, but saying all that to say this, literally, you don't know. They could have been a safe. I've heard stories. I've seen certain things. Some of these stores, guys be having $200,000 in this store. So for them to take a chance like this, because at one point in time, the hot little thing was to basically back into these stores with the ATMs, back into the stores with the ATM, snatch the ATM. I actually met a guy that was telling me some stuff. So like, and basically, because the ATMs is a lot easier than actually trying to go into a bank. And then basically it's like computer programming and you know, and then if you know how to do any kind of plasma cutting and whatnot. Oh yeah. So saying that all to say this, it's a reason why they took that chance of using that dump truck because that dump truck more than likely was stolen. And used it to actually break through the glass and the doors of that facility to take whatever they took. So it said, so apparently a smash and grab incident at a convenience store. So I'm just painting a picture of everything. The fire was set, Salakia, the fire was reported before 5 a.m. on Wednesday near the intersection of East 140th Street and Aspinwall. At the scene, a Cleveland Division fire official told 19 News that the dump truck was stolen and intentionally set on fire. The secondary fire in the building broke out as a result of an electrical issue. So basically, yeah, that can make sense. But they more than likely torched the truck to get away with any kind of like basically they trying to stop these people from figuring out who did this, which is very very smart by the way. And what about her? Like another thing that they got going on right now is they robbing these mail carriers for their keys to open these mailboxes, and they're stealing people's checks. They getting the check routing numbers and getting count information, and basically, yeah, I did a video about that, and it's not no like growing up. I remember hearing stories about when I was growing up in the projects how certain men would beat up the mail carrier and take the mail bag and basically go cash all the government check. So now this is just a more sophisticated version of that. It's like, again just a testimony to the times we living in, how sin upon sin and iniquity, and the employee said he heard early Wednesday morning that the company garage was broken into overnight and the jump truck was used for the parent smash and grab incident. The bulk of the fire was extinguished by 6 a.m., causing damage. So now again, you don't know what was taken, and if it was anything illegal, of course the owners is not going to say anything. So, and usually, like I said, that's inside job shit. Like why would you go through all that for a convenience store? So it made me think of hearing about this incident. Made me think of a few different, well, like a couple of scriptures popped in my head, and another sign of the times of the last days because it talks about in Second Ezra is about measure out the time diligently, because every time you have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So in Second Timothy chapter 3, it talks about the last days. Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous time shall come. Let's look up that word perilous. Full perilous. Google definition, it says full of danger or risk. Oh yeah, perilous times. It says so. Dangerous times shall come to pass. Perilous times or dangerous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. So right now we living in a society with a culture that is all about their whole little Facebook, their story on Facebook, all these selfies, all this turn up spirit and, dolo spirit. You only got one life to live, so make it your best one, so all about you and not the next person. It says without natural affection, and that's why you're seeing the sin upon sin, like I said, that's why you're seeing this cruelty to, you got a lot of judgment going on, man. And people, like I said again, when those you have haves and have nots, and you got more of those that have not than haves, yeah, the love of many shall wax cold. That's in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, which is a precept that could be used to this. It says, incontent, fierce. And that incontent goes, like, I believe, into that inconsistency. Similar. Check that out. Yeah, incontent. And that's what like the lawlessness, and inconsistency is the same thing. It's like having a lack of self control. So it's just out here, you know what I mean? So they don't have any laws in place to balance it. Or they do, they're just not being abided by. And like I said, you can see that with like I said, the systematic thing with the basically the shortening or the what's the word? The because basically they the police forces have been dwindling in number because of these mandates and whatnot. Just like this trucker thing, this trucker situation. What do you think that's going to lead to? I just come to find out, and I was going to check it out if I get the opportunity. So much is going on, and then you still trying to keep up and live and all that. But they were saying that basically in those Illuminati cards, if you're not familiar with them, because a lot of the plans of the elite are in these specific cards called the Illuminati game, card game. And they said that trucker thing is in there. So I was going to check it out because, I wouldn't be surprised though. Life is a movie, but, like that one channel, the scariest movie ever. His channel is called the scariest movie ever. And he brings out a lot of information, but he's saying actual reality is scarier than any movie. And that's why I chose to do this video on that truck because, like I said, it reminded me of a movie or a video game or something. And like sometimes reality is stranger than fiction. You know what I'm saying? So back into 2 Timothy 3 and verse 1. Without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. And the point was basically like the times we're living in. Like, say you got people that don't have any affection because, they're vain. They, because of the times, to be sin upon sin, and the evil times, people are about themselves and their families as opposed to, the next person. And, of course, violence increases when there's more haves and have nots, you know what I mean? Which is coming into more have nots than haves, really, in reality. Um, so the whole point of this is just expect more of these things, and, just through the spirit, it jumped on me to do a video about it because I kind of found it humorous. And I'm sure things will get less humorous than, you know, because it tells you about that in the scriptures. It's better to be in the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. That happy go lucky, and you can see the mirth leaving this place for majority of the people. Like I said, we was speaking on that. You look at this past Christmas, I've never seen a weekend. I mean, and brothers were saying that like a lot of these wicked ass holidays have been weak as of lately. Just a testament to the basically a crumbling of this devil system. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh Shem Yahushua Shem Rachakodas Rakotham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.